Alright, what's going on guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now today, I'm going to be showing you guys how I took my wrecked 2006 Subaru Legacy GT Spec B from looking like it did in this exact clip when we just put the engine in for the first time to what it looks like now. I like the way that it came out, and I wanted to show you guys kind of like a step-by-step of what we did to make the car look like how it does today. And if you haven't seen the previous video, I'd recommend checking it out, and I'll make sure to leave a link above. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Consider subscribing if you're looking for more car content just like this. But anyways, let's get back to it. By using the most innovative technology known to man, literally pulling the core support with a tree, we're slowly able to bring it back by slowly tugging away at the core support that's bent and smacking it with a hammer.
Yeah, man, perfect.
Wow. That's really good.
See, the curve is back pretty close. It could go down a little bit more. Yeah, I think it should go down a little bit more.
And after spending some more time on the car, we were able to get the core support to almost be symmetrical with the side that didn't get hit. The next part was installing the front right fender. Now it's hard to tell in the video, but the front right wheel was actually pointing in the wrong direction. It wasn't pointing completely straight. And we found out that it was because the tie rod was bent. So looking at the bent tie rod, we were scratching our heads thinking it's going to take forever for us to order a part. So we thought, you know what? I think we have the technology.
We have technology.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I have two bumpers for these Legacies, and there's a big reason why. And it's because I thought that I needed to replace the original bumper because this was all punched in on this side. But funny enough, just with the heat gun and a little bit of massaging the plastic and bringing it back out, it was able to come back out. So this is really reusable. But the thing is, I already have another bumper that I bought off another Legacy and found out that the color is off. So this color is the same as the fender color that's off on the car. So this could work if you wanted it to, but I don't want to repaint the bumper again if we got a bumper that's in pretty good shape. But what happened from the accident is that it destroyed the fog lights. So just checking and looking at the other bumper, luckily enough, it's got the fog lights that we need. So I'm just gonna be doing a little bit of swapping things over and then putting it on the bumper. And then the biggest part too is just gonna be hooking up the lights and making sure that they actually turn on. And then we'll put the front bumper back on.
So after carefully taking the front bumper apart and putting the fog lights back in, it became pretty apparent that everything else was going to be fighting me. And it's not just the car's fault, but I think it was just one of those days where everything just seemed like a very difficult and daunting task. But in the end, we were able to get everything on the front end of the car, and I was able to line up the headlights, and that was quite an ordeal. Luckily, you didn't have to sit there for hours watching me scratch my head and get frustrated at this stupid thing. But anyways, once we got the bumper back on, it started to look like a car again. And I was really happy with the way that it's turned out. Of course, the fender is actually off in color, so that's something that will need to be done next, as it definitely needs paint. But for the time being, I mean, you could totally hop in this car and drive it. Unfortunately though, it is not licensed at this time, so it's going to be kind of a sitting duck until I get it taken over to State Patrol. But due to what's happening with COVID-19, this is all currently being put on hold. So I guess we'll just have to see what the future has for the current pandemic that's happening in the world.
Hey guys, just wanted to give you a quick update on where the car is at currently right now. And it's starting to come along, and it's in one piece for once in its life. So as you know, previously, this was the engine that was in the car, the original EJ255 engine. And right now it's got the swap, which is a EJ20X. Wait, hold on. EJ20X engine swap in the car, a new fender that's put on. The first thing that you'll notice right off the bat is that the color is off. This is actually from a base model Legacy, and then this is the original Spec B color. And it's just like the slightest shade of silver off. And don't mind the little spider hanging out here, but it's almost like a little bit darker of a gray versus the silver over here. But everything is installed correctly, and everything was able to line up pretty well. Did have some trouble trying to get the hood to line up with the fender to create less of a gap here, as well as on the other side of the hood. Kind of the same story as well. So it was a little bit of a fight to get this to align correctly so that this is super close here. And of course there's a little bit of the hood missing, but you know, to be expected. But it's really came a long way from where it was before. There's still going to be panel gaps here and there, and all of this is just needs to be tidied up and finished, because all of this is barely hanging on here. I don't even know if this is hanging by anything. It could just be the hood just completely closed. But just wanted to show you guys what it looks like right now. Definitely needs a little bit more of body work. I think that it would be nice to spend some more time here, because there is a dip in the hood from where it was originally hit, as well as right here. It's not super perfect. I mean, Legacy with 200,000 miles. The lights need some work. They're a little foggy, but that's not a big deal from a cosmetic standpoint. But the biggest thing is just that the car runs and drives. But it wasn't as easy as you would think as just putting the engine in and turning the key, because the first issues that came up was the 12 engine codes that decided to come on when turning on the car. When you get into the car and you start to notice that there are some connector plugs, underneath on the passenger side, and one of them is intended for testing purposes. So for anybody that ever runs into this problem, the engine code is actually called P1518. So if you ever use a diagnostic plug and you pull the codes and you see this number, immediately check underneath the dash on the passenger side well, and you'll be able to see that there is a green connector plug, and you want to make sure that these are actually unplugged. Okay, you see this down here? If this is plugged, the car is in testing mode. So basically what that does is it puts the car in testing mode and it cycles through, and the biggest indicator that you'll see is that it'll cycle through the fans. Now, I'm very scared to plug that back in because it's going to bring up all those check engine lights, and then I have to reflash the ECU. But just for somebody that ever runs into that issue and worth investigating, I at least just wanted to show you guys that, just so you'd know. So let's just take a look underneath the hood. So the biggest portion of getting the engine in is all complete. And if you wanted to drive this out of the garage right now, you totally can. And everything seems to be in good working order, except for the radiator. So I think from the hit originally, it caused a crack over here. So there's something that usually reinforces this over here. I don't know if you could see like where it's clean versus where it's dirty. That's where it used to be. And it's on this side. There's this like little nipple that almost protrudes out that holds the radiator in place, but that one got broken off, and this was just a giant hole. So we're just using a little bit of patching this up. We're thinking that maybe it would be a good surefire solution as a temporary thing. Found out pretty quickly that it was leaking not just in the radiator core itself, but also here. So this needs to be replaced, but the good news is I actually already ordered a replacement radiator that's just in the back seat waiting to be installed, as well as the foam for the front bumper that still needs to be put on as well. That's stuff that is to be continued, but I mean, this car cranks over, fires right up, it's super smooth, no weird misfires or funny business, but it still needs a lot of just detail work. I was able to pull this portion of the core support back by using a tree. Funny enough, it was so minor that all it really needed was just a couple tugs by wrapping a rope around this wall. All of the front end was not installed and just pulling, and this came back really well. Used some wood screws here to secure portions of the fender to make sure that it lines up correctly when closing the hood. As you can see, this is literally being held by nothing except for just gravity, I guess. Oh, and actually one of the tabs that the grill is holding, so that I didn't drive it too far because it still needs to be gone through state patrol to pass inspection, but due to COVID-19, that is something that is currently being put on hold. I think the way they have it on the website is that everybody's temporarily laid off until this whole COVID thing passes through, so hopefully that happens sooner than later. But just for taking it around the block, going through the gears, it felt really good, and everything on the inside seems to be working as planned. As you know, you could buy a car and it has like one of the windows stuck or something, but in this case it definitely doesn't. It's not particularly clean in here just from me jumping in and out of it, but it doesn't smell weird and it's not like super dirty, so this interior will actually clean up really nice. And if you're looking for more information on how to clean a super dirty interior, I've done that in the past. I'll just make sure to leave something up there if you wanted to go check that out. But yeah, let's fire it up real quick and see how it sounds. The engine sounds really good. You put your hand right here, and you shouldn't feel any weird vibrations or anything happening at this point. And I haven't gotten it up to 60 miles per hour or anything, but just on back roads, I was able to just put it into fifth gear, and fifth gear it feels really good. It goes into reverse. That's a huge thing. I mean, I would just hate to have to replace the transmission after just doing the engine swap, so that's a huge blessing. If you need any Subaru parts, I'll be posting a lot of this stuff probably to Facebook Marketplace, so if you're in the local area, I got a whole bunch of Subaru stuff, and it's not even just legacy stuff either. But as always, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.